Oh, that's cool. It's going live on YouTube.
We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to FutSall.net and our live series from 0 to. This is a series of 10 interviews with coaches and players and some psychologists as well. With these interviews, we aim to inspire players, coaches, and everyone in general that wants to achieve their goal. Okay. Our technical sponsor has a slogan which is "Challenge your dream." Challenge your limits. So we hope to inspire you with Damon starting today. We will go to him in a second. So my name is Rui Fernandes. I'm a Portuguese former player, now UEFA B coach and founder of FutsalNet. I started playing futsal when I was 12, around 12 in college, Colégio de Calvão, in the region of Aveiro in Portugal. Then I played in a smaller team, moved to Gafanha in the second division in Portugal, and then I had the chance to join Damon at Boro for some in different periods, but it was great experience. We will talk about that later. After that, I moved to Germany and played for Futsal Hamburg and was invited by Jörg Ozowski to become the head coach. So now, just after this small brief of what I do and what I come from in futsal, I will pass the word to Damon, which is currently in Malaysia. It's 1 a.m. at the moment. How are you, Damon?
I'm very good, thank you, Mr. Fernandez. Yeah, very good. 1 a.m., but I'm currently living on European time, simply because, well, two reasons. Obviously, during lockdown, I'm not going out, so it doesn't really matter. But most of my friends in Europe are awake at these times, so it gives me some company. But also my internet's okay overnight. For some reason, I've got really slow internet during the day.
Okay.
And then overnight it seems to work. So I can join in calls and FaceTime my friends and things like that. So yeah, I've just changed my waking hours, my sleeping pattern to fit in with getting through the days, because yeah, we're all in a situation at the moment. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good. I've just had dinner, 1 a.m., but doesn't matter. I'll go to sleep at like 6 a.m., 5 a.m. and then.
So with this lockdown, this
sleep.
This pandemic
sleep
is
until
affecting.
we all wake up with Europeans.
And having a nice British tea.
It's from the Cameron Highlands in Malaysia, spicy tea. I've not drank any British tea over here yet.
Okay. So, Damon, what brings us here is about your experience, so that you can share with our followers. How did you get into futsal? Your path in futsal, and now that you are in Malaysia as professional coach, well, tell us a little bit about your milestones, how did you start into futsal and so on.
Yeah, well, it all started, and most people close to me will know it started with five-a-side, and in England, five-a-side's the game of choice for people that just want to play but not play 11-a-side. So it started with the five-a-side tournament, and a team that I made with my friends. And in organising this tournament, I was looking for even just this small 5-a-side tournament with 8 teams, with all friends from school. I wanted to make this tournament into something a bit bigger than it was. It was just a 5-a-side tournament at the local 5-a-side pitches. And yeah, I just wanted to make this tournament bigger and look at what we can do for the winners. Can we send the winners to a tournament abroad? Can we get some television coverage? Things like that. We invited a team from Germany, Dusseldorf, Futsal Lions. I don't know if they exist anymore. And they were seriously thinking about coming for the second year. They didn't in the end, and I'm glad they didn't, because really it was such an amateur tournament that we were. We were just a few mates just organising this tournament. But then I found futsal. By trying to make this tournament into something bigger, I discovered that if we want to go abroad, most 5-a-side tournaments are futsal. So yeah, I just discovered what it was, and I was intrigued. I was interested to see what it was, and that led me to make this tournament into a futsal tournament. Still played on AstroTurf, so it wasn't true futsal, but we work with what we've got. And at the same time, when I went back to university that year, so these tournaments were in the summer, and I went back to university and I set up a futsal club at Teesside University. And yeah, from literally knowing nothing about futsal to organising a tournament and organising a team, which was quite successful. Even in the first couple of weeks of having that team, we had 70 people to come to the trials. Players such as Ben Mortlock, Kurt Holmes, future England internationals came along to those trials, and that's where it all started. We made this family, we made this community at Teesside, and yeah, really that's where it started. Teesside Uni. This tournament was a bit of a prelude to it, but at Teesside Uni, that's really where I discovered futsal and discovered the opportunities that futsal could bring.
Mm-hmm. Well done. So was it in that year that you guys won the first British University Championship, or was in the second year?
So that was 2005 that I set up Teesside University. Mm-hmm. We had, in that first season, we went on a trip to Czech Republic, went to Belgium, went to Italy. So within the first year, we experienced futsal in, at the top level in Czech Republic. We were in a tournament with Dynamo Moscow, one of the biggest teams at that time. They were a powerhouse. Yeah. And we went to Belgium. We played with lots of, maybe some semi-professional teams, but the level was lower. But still, it was a good level, and teams from all over Belgium, some French teams, German teams. And then we went to Italy again. That was quite a friendly tournament. We faced teams from Holland, from Italy, and we had this big experience of futsal in that first year. And for me, it just lit something in me. It was, we traveled. So we had 3 trips that year. We had 3 trips as a team. And at the end of that season, I went to Poland for the World Championships, where Ben Mortlock and Kurt Holmes were in the Great Britain squad that year. So within that first year, I had all those experiences, playing local regional league, and then topped it off with going to the World Championships in Poland. And yeah, what an experience! What an introduction to this sport. Seeing it from AstroTurf pitches with my friends to seeing in Portugal. Then they had Orlando Duarte as head coach. I think Brazil won that tournament. So seeing Brazil play Portugal in this World Championship, with a lot of the players went on to play for the national teams. Maybe not in Brazil, but certainly in Portugal.
Yes, for sure.
And just going from 0 to having that experience at the very top. Well, not very top, obviously, because it's university championships, but yeah, it just went so quick in that year. And yeah, it changed. From there, it was in me already.
Yes. So actually, the university futsal, not only here in Portugal, but now it's getting stronger in Great Britain as well. You experienced that, and you know that many teams came from university background. So definitely, it's a good way to start.
And that trip to Poland, that's where I met John Warnock, actually Neil Warnock's brother, but he was involved in Great Britain futsal. And he basically told me, Damon, go and run the British University Championship, set up a university futsal tournament, because that's where futsal will grow. And yeah, I did. So I went back, and with a friend of mine, Rick O'Toole, who was at Sheffield Hallam University, between us, we organised the first university championships. And there was some qualifying rounds, and there was 8 teams in the final. And that was the first one, and it was small then. It was a 2-day final tournament. Teesside won it, but now that's the biggest competition in the UK, and most players start their futsal career at university, and it's a breeding ground for players going on to the National League and into the national team.
Definitely. Now, how did Boro showed up? So how did you start the Boro futsal?
Yeah, so Teesside University always had its limits as a club, simply because the local community wouldn't support it as much as they would support it if it was Middlesbrough. Now, the students come from all over the place in Teesside, in the UK, and Teesside University wasn't really within the community. It was a separate thing based in the town.
Yeah.
No, so to be a successful club and garner the support of the local media, the local people, local businesses, for me it was important to have Middlesbrough as the main club in the town. And Teesside kind of merged into Middlesbrough. It was always separate, but there was a big crossover because the same players, the same coach.
Yes.
The only thing with Middlesbrough is we could have non-student players. So, we did recruit a few players from outside the university, from sixth forms and colleges and schools. And yeah, that's where Middlesbrough was born, with the university as a sort of a foundation.
Yes, I remember the first time I went there, that the venue was from it was the sports hall from the university.
Yeah.
No stands, I guess, or just a little stand.
Well, you could pull them out. The pitch was only a netball court, so like 15 by 30.
Yeah, it's like a basketball.
You might remember. Do you remember doing the interview?
Yes.
When you came with ITV Sport?
Yes, it's on my page. Boro Futsal on ITV, something like this.
Yeah, I remember my hair as well, super long, and your curly bush.
Yeah, I was full of curly hair. It was interesting.
No,
first.
that was the start of it, and the media came down because it was Middlesbrough. Yeah, Teesside has its own interest, and students will be interested, but now the real drive was to create a team that could compete in the National League, compete nationally, compete in Europe eventually. That never happened, apart from friendly tournaments. But yeah, the aim was to create a team, create a club, create a family that would grow into something big. Unfortunately, that changed. My life went on a different path, but my personal goals are still there. The people that were involved, I guess they have similar goals still, and they're still involved, just not as Middlesbrough.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So with Middlesbrough, first event you did was where was it? The first international tournament?
Yeah, so the first one for Middlesbrough, those first 3 we did as Teesside.
Mm-hmm.
We went, then the next year was Middlesbrough sort of starting, and we went to Czech Republic, and I think we went to Belgium again. But then that summer is when we went to Portugal.
Exactly.
That was sort of Middlesbrough's birth. Welcome to the world of futsal, Middlesbrough. And wow,
what a tournament it was. Playing against Sporting, that year was the second. There was an international tournament, and I don't remember one. I think it was a Brazilian team who won the World Cup club, and Sporting was second and Benfica third, or the opposite. the other way around. So anyway, Sporting was the top team. One player from Sporting that is still playing for them is Deo, the Brazilian number 10. Is still playing for Sporting.
Yeah, no, what an experience, because that was 13 years ago. We literally just started. We had players that had played futsal for less than 6 months, 2 years, maximum 2 years, because we only just started 2 years before that. And we get to Portugal and we turn up and play Sporting, who were at that time second in the world, and they're still one of the best teams in the world in Europe. So are they champions of Europe now, or?
Still, yeah, because the Champions League this season is stopped due to the pandemic. So Sporting is still current European champion. Yes, they are celebrating today. Actually, today or yesterday, they won it last year on this day.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Do you remember the score of that game?
No, to be honest.
You're a goalkeeper. You should forget.
No. I mean, I thought you were asking from the Champions League final last year.
No, the match we played against Sporting. You remember the score?
Who scored? It was Ben Mortlock.
No, it was Ed Bryers actually who scored our goal.
Oh, okay.
So we scored, but do you remember the score?
Oh, the score was 18-2 or 18-1, something like this.
18-1.
18-1. Yes.
No, that was the first time we'd come up against a team. They were constantly pressing, and I would. If I had the best team in the world and the worst team in the world comes and plays us, I'm going to press all the game. You're going to dominate, aren't you?
That was a preseason tournament, so they needed to get some more intensity. So they could not just be there and waste time. They were there to train, to make a training session, and that's why they smashed us. Anyway, I made some saves, so I took the ball to Zezito, the captain, and at the end he said, if it wasn't because of you, we would have scored more. So I was happy. Obviously, to play with my idols. At the goal, their goal was Cristiano, that is still playing. João Benedito, that is not playing anymore, but it's Portuguese biggest reference in goal. So I was playing against my idols, even though I'm not from Sporting. It was a great experience being with you guys and starting something with Boro. So after this match against Sporting, so we lost the semi-final and we played against Barca B. Do you want to discuss a bit about that? How was it?
I use this match, the game Two Lies and One Truth, or Two Truths and One Lie, where people have to guess if one of the things you say is the lie. I use this one because I played in that game for I think 2 minutes when you got injured.
Yeah.
And I came on and made one save and then went off, and only for 2 minutes. So one of my truths is I kept a clean sheet against Barca. No one believes it. Obviously. Not many people would do that, but no, I only played 2 minutes and didn't have to do much. But yeah, again, that was an unreal experience for a new club, for a new guy in futsal. So then within 12 months, be playing against FC Barcelona. Unbelievable. Yeah. It was the B team, but it was it wasn't advertised as the B team. It was Barca. They weren't representing the club, and we lost 12-4. I think it was 4-2 at half time, right?
12-4, yeah.
But at half time, 4-2.
4-2. It was we were playing better. Actually, we were not allowing Barca to play. They were quite a little bit nervous. Because they were the B team, so mainly they were juniors, so under 19s or something. So they were a bit nervous. In the second half, they smashed us.
Yeah, but I think fitness comes into it as well, because again, we were just a group of friends not even that. Some people
Yeah,
there, we just go in for this tournament because
it was the first time I met you guys, so never trained with you before. So it was
no, yeah,
it was
amazing.
strange, but it was incredible, definitely.
And
Okay, so
and that
yeah.
match was where I met Albert Adamus.
Yes, as well.
And you as well. And staying in touch with Albert is what sort of opened my doors to go to Spain. That January 2008 was my first trip to Spain, and I got a cheap flight. I think it was 20 quid. Went for a week in Barcelona. I met with Albert. Went to watch the B team training a couple of times. While I was there, I managed to go and see the first team training with Javi Rodriguez. Mark Carmona was coach. That's where I met Mark, which was the start of a friendship and a mentorship. If ever I have a problem, I used it even last year to get a bit of advice for a decision I had to make. I called him up, and so that trip to Barcelona because of Albert was, it really opened up the doors. And I went a few times between 2008 and when I moved there in 2013. So I went a few times back to Spain, watched training, watched matches, and learned so much from that club.
Yes, Barcelona. It's one of the best teams in the world and best clubs. So they have a great structure behind every sport.
When I went in 2008, they hadn't won anything. I think that season they finished 5th and played the quarterfinals and semi-finals of the playoffs. Maybe not the semi-finals, I don't know. But then 2009 onwards, that's when they went on a period of domination.
Sure. Yeah, I remember when we were playing against them in 2007, the first team was in the 2nd division, was not even in the 1st division. So they went up in the...
They'd just been promoted because 2008 they were...
Okay, so that was it.
Promoted,
yeah, that was it, yeah. Okay, so after this international tournament, I stopped the tournament against Barcelona because of my professional duties, and then you moved to a tournament in Algarve, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the less we talk about the rest of the matches, the better.
Okay, so it was a nice holidays, so vacation tournament, but
you know what? I think one of my best memories of that trip, well, there's two that really stand out. We were in like a dorm room one night in Lisbon. We played a tournament with Benfica, and I don't remember the other team. But we played with Benfica. We lost 6-5. I think it was their B team or under 21s.
okay.
That was a really good game, and we didn't do too bad. So got a bit of confidence from that. But the night after that tournament, we stayed in like a farmhouse in a hostel, and it was so much fun. We just had so much laughs with just stupid jokes. And I remember Iklak, he was downstairs, and I remember him coming upstairs having a go at everybody, saying, "Everyone be quiet, it's 3 a.m. in the morning," and we're still there picking ourselves because
Iklak was the only responsible person. The rest was people having
fun. It was such a good laugh. And then we went down to the Algarve, and there was one night we went skinny dipping in like a little cove. And these experiences, I think in sport in general, these are the experiences that you remember rather than results. Yeah, I remember most of the results.
Yeah.
But what I remember from that trip is the setting, the way we were treated by the hosts.
That was incredible. We felt like professionals.
Yeah. That was one of the experiences that I had that then thought, well, I want to be a professional. I want this life. It was amazing. Yeah, living that in Portugal was probably a big sort of catalyst for where I am now.
Great. After this, so there was a structure. So there was a setup for the team in locally and nationally to become a big club in England. In 2009, we reached a nice achievement, which was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 2008 was the first year of the National League. And before that, it was just the FA Cup. We played in the FA Cup in 2007, if I remember rightly, before we went to Portugal. So that was the national finals before the league. But we were part of the first National League in 2008. I can't remember exactly how we finished, to be honest. But yeah, 2009, we won the Northern League, the National League, so it was split into regions, and played the finals. So top 4 teams in the country, or top six, wasn't it? Yeah, top 6, top 2 of each league. So there's North and South, and we won that Northern League. And we were just a small team a small town team with very little resources. Everyone chipping in, paying the way. We had a couple of sponsors, but barely touched the surface. And
I remember joining the last match on the regular season. We were 1 or 2 points ahead of Loughborough, and I made one of my best matches ever. I was with the flu, so I was sick. I got Michael Skubala to hit me on the face with his elbow on a on a corner kick. Because I was on a good day, so they were struggling. We won 6-1, I guess.
7-2.
7-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we were like 6-0 clear. I think we played a perfect game. It was unbelievable. We played such a good game. We were clear 6-2 or something like that, or 6-1 maybe. And then yes, I think it was 6-0. And then
it was because when I went out, it was when I committed a penalty. So I don't remember who entered to the goal. It was in the last. Yeah, exactly. Last 2 minutes of the game, or last 5 minutes, and the poor guy had to enter to try to make a save on the penalty I committed. But at that time, the match was granted for us, so it was already.
I think he saved it, actually, Ruby.
Sorry?
I think he saved that penalty.
No, he conceded. I think he conceded because I was feeling pity for him, because I committed a penalty and he was entering to try to save it. So I'm almost sure.
I think he saved the penalty. I know he conceded a couple of goals, but I think he saved the penalty with his bottom left foot, his left shin, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Good memory. Okay.
Might be wrong.
It was a great match that gave us the North League title. I still have my medal.
Yeah, me too.
Room. It's a nice memory, which led us as well to the national playoffs in Bath, wasn't it? I think Swindon. Yeah, Swindon. And yeah, so continuing. After that, what was the biggest milestones for Boro?
So yeah, playing those finals 2009 was a big moment, and oh my god, the injustice in those finals.
Yes.
This is another episode, eh? We could talk about this, but no, I'm not going to put any blame at anybody here, but I felt we deserved more from those finals. We played 2 good games. We drew with Tranmere. We drew with Genesis. Tranmere went on to the finals because Genesis got kicked out because they didn't show up for their game with Tranmere. So Tranmere went to the finals.
We had to beat them for more than 5 goals, and we drew 5-5 against Genesis, which they were a good team as well.
Someone got sent off as well, but we won't mention that. Yeah. It was the experience. It was the was that weekend away with the team and playing the national finals. It was such a good experience, and we felt aggrieved. But for a small club that had been in existence 2 years, to have that experience was, we overachieved. I mean, we achieved a lot with what we had, the resources we had, and
Of course.
Yeah, and then after that, what happened? Then
we reached the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Same year?
Silver Cup. It was same year, yeah. Was in June, and the playoffs were in October, November, I think.
October, I think.
Yeah. So we reached the semi-finals, lost in the penalty shootout with what was his name?
Do you remember who?
Yeah, he sent the ball to. It was doing like Beckham did against Portugal.
Oh God. Yeah, we lost that 5-4. But again, another amazing experience.
Definitely. Great. So we had the chance to travel a lot as well. So that's the most interesting thing is to enjoy. So if you have to play if you can play futsal and also travel and meet new people, because I have friends since those times,
Yeah.
I remember when was it? We did a preseason in Barcelona in 2011. Where we met Albert Sabatel in Mataró.
Yep.
Exactly.
Just go back a bit. I missed you. You cut out a little bit then.
So yes, I was saying that we had an interesting traveling, we made good friends from that as well, more than just playing futsal. And as I was saying,
Nacho.
Sorry.
Nacho came with us to those finals in 2009, and as you know, Nacho's now been a player of mine 5 times, I think. Twice in Middlesbrough, Sweekie,
Tranmere as well.
4 times. So maybe he's going to come to Malaysia. Not as a player, because we've got one foreign player, but as an assistant helper.
Okay.
I'm sure he's listening. I'm sure Nacho's listening. Hello.
Doing some yoga before the match.
Yeah.
Great. So after this preseason, we had an invitation from the Maltese national team to join them for 2 friendlies. They were preparing the match against England for the Euro qualifiers, I think. Yeah. So they invited us to Malta. How was it?
Yeah, 2012, right? October.
11 or 12, yeah. Was around that. 2012, I think it was the tournament in Zurich in Switzerland.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Malta was. I'm sure it was 2012.
Oh, so it was one after the other. So Malta was in October and December was Zurich, something like this. Okay.
I'll need to check my timeline because you might be right. No, Malta, what an experience again. We got the invitation to go to Malta. I think they probably thought if they play an English team, it's going to be similar to play in England the way we set up or whatever. But so for them, it was their preparation. Again, we got treated like professionals. We were given a nice hotel, all the food, all the transport, everything. It was such a nice trip. Obviously, I met a few people there that I went on to work with, play against, compete against in Malta. And yeah, what an experience that was, because we took 3 15-year-old boys in the team, 1 16, 2 15-year-old boys in that team, and Bradley, Josh, and Mikey McGee. And wow, for them, for me, I don't know. I was kind of used to it at this point. It was still an amazing thing for me, but
yes.
What it must be for those 15-year-old boys to be playing against the national team for their club. It was
Yes, Bradley. I recently talked with Bradley, and after futsal, he moved to play football in Spain, and I don't know which league, but it was in the national league and as professional. So for sure, futsal can give you some help in terms of skill, at least. Okay,
Yeah,
so
of
after
course. Go on.
yeah, so after this Malta, in Malta we drew the first match, and we lost.
3-3. Yeah. 3-1.
And the other one was we lost by 1 goal, I guess.
3-1, I think it was.
Yeah, or by 2. So in any case, it was a great experience. We played very well. We had our chances. In overall, it was a very positive two friendlies. So afterwards, we went to the Zurich International Tournament, and we ended in the final against Geneva Futsal, I guess, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, again, another amazing experience.
Yes.
15 boys, all and 1 girl, I think Elle came.
Yes.
15 boys and a girl locked up in a little dorm room, all the beds together, like a hostel. No, an amazing experience. Switzerland, I need to go back. You know, doing these things, doing futsal and doing something you love, it takes away opportunities to earn good money. Certainly for me, anyway. I'd rather do this than than dedicate myself to a job where I can earn a lot of money. So now I went to Switzerland, and you need money to enjoy that place. It's not a cheap destination to go to, but still, we visited the FIFA
quarters.
FIFA headquarters, played some amazing games, and got to a final. What an experience that was. And there was a prize. I think it was a €2,000 prize up for grabs, and yeah, these little things, they give you experiences for one day I'm going to be in a semi-final again, and these experiences that you have then, decisions you make as a coach, you need to learn from them. You need to get as many of these experiences as you can. It's not just about players improving and having training sessions. As a coach, we need to keep repeating different experiences, making mistakes, making wrong decisions, learning from them, and growing. So yeah, what an experience that was as well.
I remember
playing on international pitches against international teams.
We played against a French team.
Yeah, what a tournament that was again.
Yes, we played against a French team in the semi-final. We went to the penalty shootout, and it was my second penalty shootout with Boro. And I was remembering the one of FA Cup in 2009, I guess. And I saved 2, I think. And Mark scored the last goal, and we went through to the final. And it was an amazing feeling. It was incredible. Then in the final, it was Geneva Futsal was a community of Brazilians, I guess, Brazilians and.
And I think they played the UEFA Cup, UEFA Champions League that year. So they were, if not professional, semi-professional, or they brought players in and gave them jobs, something that level. I don't know. Yeah, they were good. They were good. 7-2.
Yeah. Well, we lost, but I took the prize for best goalkeeper of the tournament. I took this big statue. It was
not individual awards, is it?
Anyway, it was incredible. It was incredible to win something with Boro was impressive. So before discussing a little bit about your move to Barcelona, your experiences and achievements with university futsal.
Yeah, so
you won 3 titles, wasn't it?
We won the first one, 2007, which was the pilot tournament, the introduction, let's get this off the ground tournament. And it was the first one. It was beautiful to win. It was university championships. The level wasn't that great because it was teams that really hadn't played much futsal before. There was very few teams, futsal teams in the country at that point, especially within the universities. But yeah, what a great experience that was, and we won the first one. And then 2009 we won the plate, so we got knocked out in the groups but went on to win the plate. And then the big one, the one that sort of, yeah, it was the most difficult, because we were just a small university team with no budget. We didn't even have tracksuits, and we would, we looked like Ragos Rovers, and we just turned up to these finals. And in the group stage, we got through. We got the quarterfinals. We got through on after extra time. Robbie Bettson scored to avoid penalties, like with 30 seconds to go. And we were struggling. Everyone's heads were down. I remember this talk we had. We put everyone on the balcony at the top after that game, and we had this talk, and it was along the lines of, like, come on, heads up. We've nothing to lose. No one's expecting us to win. People were scared because they saw the match, Bath v Loughborough, in the semi-final, which was 2-1 to Bath. They saw that and they're like, wow, this is a big university team. These guys are serious. Everyone's heads were down. I remember it. People were, we just scraped through. And anyway, we had this talk and got them up for it. We set up our stall, and that the match that came after that was one of the best matches. It just, everything came together. We were 4-0 up within like 4 minutes or something. And wow, we came out of the blocks flying. We were 4-0 up, and the game finished 8-0. And we just beat Team Bath 8-0 in the semi-finals of the national championships. This team with no tracksuits, nothing. And just everything sort of fell our way in that game. It was an unbelievable performance from everybody. I just remember Mikey Roberts, I think, scored the first goal from kickoff on the counter-attacks. They had kickoff. We scored almost straight away. And same again, a few counter-attacks. And because that year we played fly goalkeeper a lot, because we didn't have a goalkeeper. We had Pete Bullman in goal, because we didn't have a goalkeeper. Back then, the rule allowed we could play, if the ball went over halfway, we could go back to the keeper. So we used that. We took advantage of it because we didn't have a goalkeeper.
So probably that was your secret weapon.
Well, no, because we didn't get to use that against Bath, because they were expecting it. So when we hit them on the counter attack and did something different, everything came together nicely, and we won 8-0. And wow, that took us into the final. We won 2-1 after extra time. I remember one of the comments, I didn't hear it, but Jason always tells me this. We were playing the fly goalkeeper. Both teams were, to be honest, and it was tentative. It was 1-1 extra time, and Jason said that someone on their bench said, "It's all right, boys. Let them take it to penalties. They've got nothing." And as he said that, Robbie Bettson ball out of his feet into the top corner, and then everyone piled on, and I think there must have been about 20 seconds left or a minute left at that point, and we defended for our lives and went on to win the title again.
Right. So that was
amazing.
That was the first university title, and then you had 2 more, right?
No, that was the second.
Oh, the second. That was the second.
The first one was the one that we organised. That was the pilot tournament, but still the British Championship.
And the third was.
Third one was in 2012. We had an influx of Catalans. Marc Cavaleria, Sergi Garcia, goalkeeper. Really one of the best goalkeepers I've ever had. No offense, Rui, but this guy was a handball goalkeeper, and he was just something different. I remember warming this guy up a lot. While the other players doing the warm up, I remember warming Sergi up. And I get to a point, I'm trying to score in warm-up. From 5 meters out, volleying it, I'm trying to score. And it was just something different with his handball background. It was something different. It's a shame he didn't play longer, because really he could have been a very special futsal goalkeeper. So we had this influx of Catalan, Raul as well. And we played the finals. we won 3 of the games in the finals, 4-3. So it was very tight. All the games very difficult. It was a shorter program that time, a shorter tournament. We won 4-3, 4-3, and I think in the semi-final it was quite a bit easier. And then in the final we played Bath again. Our long-term rivals. We've always had a good rivalry with Team Bath, and yeah, we won 4-3. I think Pete Bulmer scored all 4 goals or something crazy. But yeah, what an experience that was to. We didn't really expect to win it. We should have won it the year before. We got to the semi-finals, but got knocked out by Northumbria. But that year we were quite weak. We didn't have much of a squad. We just had a few Catalans, Pete, Mikey, Jason came back for the finals, which helped. But no, that was a really good achievement. The first one was difficult, very difficult, but it was the first. It was the best. And the second one was it was harder. We were more up against it. We were always underdogs, but this time I think even more. I think that played into our hands a bit all through our time as Teesside, that we were underdogs.
Okay, so we're ending out of time. We're running out of time. So quickly, so after this, you decided that you wanted to step up and learn more of the game. So to take your futsal courses in the country of the best league in the world, which is in Spain. You moved to Barcelona and you lived there for 5 years?
3 years. 3 years.
3 years. 3 years.
Yeah, look, part of me, 3 years. I wish I could split myself in 2 at this point, because part of me wanted to stay and build something with Middlesbrough, and we were on the right track. Things were going in a good way.
Yeah, I remember.
But also I needed to build myself. I needed to go and get the experience abroad, and unfortunately, you can't do 2 things. You can't be in 2 places. So I got the chance to go to Spain. I went to Spain to work in a club that Fernandao had just taken over. I worked there as an assistant coach for the senior team in the 3rd division and as an academy coach. But the situation wasn't quite right there. I won't go into it, but after a month, I moved into the centre of Barcelona, got my own flat. And that's when I started, helping with, that's when I started training as a player, just to stay involved in the futsal community, and started doing I did my monitor course, my level 0. And yeah, that was a big moment for me, because at that point, okay, so I needed a coaching role. I'd just done my level 0, and I was going to do my level 1 that summer, and I did it. And then my first role in Spain as a coach was under 19s B of Hospitalet del Sport in the 5th division of under 19s in Catalonia. So like the 6th tier of under 19s futsal. Now I've gone from Middlesbrough, at the top of England.
Yes.
Not the very top, the top 4 or 5 teams. I think that season we finished near the top. We were on the up. And I've gone right down to the bottom, coaching a junior team, in a social team, basically, a team of misfits, players that just wanted to come and do something with their time. Just checking you're still there, because you've frozen a bit. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, wow, what an experience, because it got me out of my comfort zone. First of all, the language. I'd been there a year, so my Spanish was okay. I could communicate basically. Yeah, I was totally out of my comfort zone, coaching Spanish kids that were laughing at my accent, laughing at my Spanish. They were just there just to hang out with their friends. Really, it was something else. Going from having a group of players that I'd brought up for 4 or 5 years in Middlesbrough to a group of players that had no respect for me at all, because who's this English guy teaching us, doesn't even know Spanish. Yeah. And yeah, what an experience. I mean, we had a good season.
Kids are tough.
Yeah, I mean, it finished okay. We finished mid-table. We had some good results. Some bad results as well, but
yeah. On that period, you were in Barcelona. The best period for you in futsal was with Marfil, Santa Coloma, wasn't it?
Industrias Santa Coloma. So yeah, after that season in the under-19s, I went to Marfil, Industrias. I'd met Oscar Redondo a few times, and he was the head of academy at that point. And I said to him, look, I want to come and work in this club. I wasn't bothered about money. I was only earning €200 a month in my last club. And I wanted to go to Industrias Santa Coloma. I knew it was a good academy, one of the best in Spain, and I'd do what it takes. I'd do anything to go and work there. And eventually they said, okay, we're going to put you in as assistant on the under-14s. I was like, okay, no money, no problem. I wasn't bothered about. I was teaching English to pay the bills. So, yeah, what a year that was again. Out my comfort zone. So now I'm coaching. I was assistant coach, but I was coaching one of the 3 sessions a week. And there's a couple of periods where Edu, the head coach, he disappeared, holiday or work or whatever. And I took the team in the tournament. And yeah, again, the language barrier is difficult. Kids that age, they think it's funny.
Yes,
I think it's funny that you speak different.
Yeah.
You know, so to get over that.
With them, you reached the final, or was it the semi-final of the National League?
The Copa de España.
Copa de España.
So yeah, we played the semi-final with Inter Movistar. We played and we won in the last 6 seconds. We scored a screamer, and then we played the final against Barca. That season we played Barca 3 times, and you know that team, Barca's academy, they dominate everything. So standing between us and any trophies was Barca. So you know, but it wasn't about the trophies. That team was about developing the players, and
yeah, of course,
the club wants to win at all levels. There was some sort of demand there. If you lost a game, the president was on you saying, you know, what happened? We should be beating that team, and you're like, yeah, of course. But ultimately, it's about development and giving those players an education to go on to eventually play for the senior team. And I'm still in touch with a lot of the boys. Some of them doing really well. So yeah, that was a really nice experience. I learned so much from Edu. So being a second coach, again, going from a head coach in one country in a club near the top to dropping down and being an assistant coach to a younger coach.
This is the aim of our live series. It's the chance that everyone, if you fight for it, you have the chance to go from 0 to something. And you were in several zeros. So after being in Boro, developing something in the national league, having to go to Spain, different language, having to adapt to a new reality, having to learn from in lower divisions and with kids, that helped you giving the next step, which was going back home and to coach and establish the academy for Tranmere.
Yeah, so I was in Spain. I learned language, and I was coaching 3-4 times a week, matches every weekend. It was that last year in Spain gave me a foundation of still enough. I know I'm going to have to stay, simply just to do my UEFA Pro. Coach, we will leave 4 months and get onto the UEFA Pro. So I'm going to do that. No.
Sorry, Damon, the connection is not.
That gave me.
Not working okay.
What did you get?
Damon?
Yep.
The connection is very bad at the moment.
Okay, maybe go.
Apologies to everybody, as Damon is facing some difficulties with the bandwidth.
Yeah, just let me. How's?
No, it's working.
Let me quit. Let me quit and come back in.
Okay. So meanwhile, Damon is restarting his connection. I just want to quickly show you the next. So the next. Quickly show you the next interviews. So now, now we will. After today, we will have the next session on Saturday in Portuguese with Diana Jorge. She's a psychologist with expertise. Okay, Damon is asking to enter the room. Okay, she's expert in psychology in sports. Afterwards, next week on Wednesday, we will have João Almeida, that is currently coaching in England. It will be also interview in Portuguese. He won the British University Championship. Then we will have an interview from coach Nacho Cabral from Argentina. Rui Guimarães from that is coaching in Dubai. Damon, are you there? He's still trying to join us. After Rui Guimarães, we will be talking to Diego D'Alessandro, the Uruguayan national team coach. And some other interesting interviews coming as well. Damon, are you?
Hey, hello.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Okay, so we are running out of time. Quickly go over the experience at Tranmere before. Sorry. Damon? Can you hear me, Damon?
I didn't say anything yet. Yeah.
There's a delay. The connection is very bad at the moment.
Okay, so Tranmere, how's this? Delay okay?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. I left Spain again. At that point, I was at a juncture in my life. Where do I go? Do I go to England and take on this new opportunity, or do I stay in Spain? I was happy. I love brilliant life. I love Barcelona. Teaching English, doing futsal. I could have done a few more years in Spain, no problem. But yeah, I got this opportunity in Tranmere. Basically a blank sheet to build an academy within a football club. And yeah, it was at that point I went back to England using what I learned in Spain, and I tried to create a structure within an English club that mirrored what I learned in Spain. So not just the coaching, but the setup, the structure, the culture of the, and to be honest, we got to a point where we had 120, 130 kids within the academy. We had the 2-year age groups, which isn't really common in England. We had, like, we copied Spain, so we had Alevin, Infantil, Juvenil, Cadete, so under 14s, 12s, 16s, and 19s. And the structure in Spain, I think, has a lot of the answers to how to develop footballers, to develop futsal players. And we put that on in England, and you've frozen. So I think this is not working. Or you're just really still. I think it's crashed. Or I'm just live on Rui's feed and hey everyone, how you doing? Maybe Rui's talking to you, I don't know. Ugh. Yeah.
Damon?
Yep.
Okay, we're back.
Where do we go to?
So you were talking about the structuring the football club, how you learned in Spain.
Yeah, so I put in place a structure similar to what they do in Spain. I'm not going to go into the details of that because it's not really important for this chat. But no, Trammy was my first sort of, okay, I learned all this new stuff in Spain, done my UEFA B, UEFA A, had a couple of years coaching there, and I came back and I tried to do it in England. And yeah, in terms of the coaching, I think it works. In terms of the structure, I think it works.
That was your first
Unfortunately,
professional.
it didn't make the money that the club wanted.
Yes, that was your first professional experience.
Yeah, now still, the actual part, the role of head coach for the senior team was an extra on top of my development role, which was building the club, coaching the academy, and then the senior team was an extra. It was important. It's an important extra because you need that thing on top, that aspiration on top for the kids to come and join your academy. If you don't have that, it's just a soccer school, or it's just a skills session, or you know what I mean. So
yeah, of course.
So yeah, that was important. Now we had 2 seasons. We got promoted in the first season. Second season we got relegated, but we had a young team, and you know, for me it was the opportunity of giving these young players that we brought into futsal a chance to play senior futsal. And I think the biggest success story out of that now is Jordan Deere. He's now an England international, maybe 3 or 4 caps. He was my captain. He was the first name on the team sheet at Tranmere. He joined us when he was 15. Played all season when he just turned 16, and then captain in his second season. You know, so if it's just helped that one person become an England international, then it's a success. But no, there's a lot of success at Tranmere. Unfortunately, it didn't carry on. And again,
there was,
I would have stayed long term, but
there was an international clinic for coaches at Tranmere that I joined. So basically, Mark Carmona was the speaker for attacking systems. You were the responsible for the defensive systems, and I was responsible to speak about goalkeeping and provide a practical session, right?
yeah.
So many coaches from all over the UK went there. Also, Michael Scovala, the national team coach, joined as well to watch. So it was you were creating something interesting at Tranmere.
Yeah, it had a lot of potential. Now, when the team want futsal people, when they're not really interested in futsal, they're only interested in their business. They make decisions based on business, and I think most of us know that it's not going to make a millionaire. It's not going to make a lot of money for people. It's, you know, it should be something that is done more. It's a community thing. It's, you know, it can make a living. It can pay coaches. It can bring in money, but when money is the aim, when money is the aim, I
Yes,
think
of course, it makes things more difficult and short term. Yeah. So after this, you got an invitation to go to Malta.
Yeah, literally as soon as I lost my job at Tranmere, then actually Timmy from Malta, right, he spoke to me on LinkedIn and then said he would have called me straight away, but he just wanted to wait a few days. So really, as soon as I left Tranmere, I got the offer to go to Malta. I had a few offers as well. I could have gone to Switzerland. Finland was a potential. No, but the one that was most interesting in the end was Malta. And the club, it was a good structure.
Damon?
Because there's lots of offers. Yep.
Okay. So you had some offers, you moved to Sweden United. They had a good structure, right?
Yeah, it was. I asked around, I did a bit of research, and the club was well around. And I found out that it was well around, good people, and I think I'm paused because you were frozen. And yeah, so I accepted that challenge, which was they wanted me to build an academy similar to what we did at Tranmere and coach the senior team in the Maltese National League.
Well done. So how long were you in Malta?
1.5 seasons in the end. Again, I found it quite difficult to build an academy. There was very few people in Malta compared to England, even less people in Malta than in Merseyside, where I was working for Tranmere. So to attract people to do futsal, it was quite difficult. And I mean, we were coaching in the football academy, so we were doing futsal in the football academy. So we didn't really have the market to bring in new players to do only futsal. It was quite tough. So most of my efforts then went on the senior team and coaching in the football academy, which took up most of my time in the end anyway. So no, Malta. After the first year, we had a good base to build on, but a few problems in the club with sponsors and things like that, and then some plans went out the window in terms of players that we were bringing. A few things didn't quite go right in that summer. But the challenge, unfortunately, we had a bad start to the season, so result away, and after 7 games with only 6 with only 1 win, then we agreed. It was a mutual thing. I mean, they asked me to. We had a discussion and said, look, we think it's the right thing to do, and I said, look, I agree. I think it's, I think it makes sense that I leave and the club can go a different way and I can go a different way. So, yeah, it was a good experience, a really different experience.
Okay.
A low level of futsal in terms of local players, but we had some good international players, but it was competitive. And we were training 3-4 times a week, playing matches every couple of weeks, and really getting into that sort of competition as a semi-professional, because the team wasn't fully professional. We had, I think in the first year, 2 professional players, in the second year, 1 professional player, and some semi-professional. So yeah, again, it was a good step up. It was a step up from Tranmere, where it was totally amateur.
Yeah, of course. And now, so you moved back to home for some time. You took time with the family, and then you joined Perak in Malaysia. Your current position.
Yeah, and again, so Malta came about because basically through networking, through social networking, I think through Facebook. I knew Timmy. So he'd seen the work that I'd done in Tranmere, they liked it, so that's why they went in touch. I think it's important. This is, if we're talking zero to be professional, then I think this is quite important. It's important to share what you can. Nobody really is going to promote you when you're zero. You need to share your work. You need to be active on social media. It's not for everybody, but I wouldn't have got any of my opportunities really if it wasn't for social media. Tranmere came about through Twitter as well. I got speaking to the owner of Tranmere through that. And again, Perak came about similarly. I actually got in touch with the manager of the club. I was interested in Asian futsal. I have been for quite a while because it's a place I've always wanted to visit and live, and have that experience over here. But you know, what I see happening in Asia, I think is very, very possible in England in terms of the setup and the professionalism, and you know, we can take a lot from the leagues over here in Thailand, in Indonesia, Malaysia, that can be replicated in England. So I've always wanted to keep an eye on what's going on over here. So I was in touch with the manager of Perak, and they asked me to see if I can bring a team over to their tournament. I tried, I invited a few teams, but it was in January, so quite difficult for European teams to come. Yeah. And then suddenly, I had my job in Malta, and we were continuing the conversation, and they said, look, we want to start talking to you about being the head coach next season. So I was like, yeah, of course, I'd love to. I'm available, and it's a dream come true if I get to work in Asia. So, and yeah, again, it wasn't straightforward. It wasn't just a case of, here you go, Damon, here's the contract, off we go. There was a lot to and fro over WhatsApp, and eventually it got to a point where we'd been waiting sort of 6 weeks. Things happen slow over here in Asia. You know, even in Malta, I think, even in Spain, the places I've lived, it's quite a slow. It suits me. It's things go quite slowly, relaxed. But at this point, I needed to make a decision. I needed to know what I was going to do. Do I start something in my local town in Blackburn, or am I going to be coaching in Malaysia? So I had one thing I was working on in the UK, but I needed to know what's going on here. So in the end, I just booked a one-way ticket, came to Malaysia to see the tournament that we were organising. Look, I'm here, I'm serious. If the offer's still on the table, I've come, I've shown you that I'm serious, I want this job, I want to be the coach here. So, you know, I don't think if I came, they would have offered me the job. I mean, they offered me the job, but I don't think it would have gone as far as signing the contract if I didn't come on my own accord. You know, I just booked a flight on my own cost, came to see the tournament. They put me up very kindly in the hotel, so that was nice. But yeah, once I came, that sort of, you know, showed them that I was serious and that I wanted to work for them. So yeah, you've got to do things like that. You can't just expect a job to fall on your email inbox.
Exactly. So one tip to our followers that are aiming to step it up and one day becoming professional. One tip is that you have to take risks. You don't know the reality, and nothing happens from nothing. So you have to work a lot, take risks. You have to go down sometimes to go up afterwards. We say in Portuguese, you have to give one step back afterwards to give two to the front. So that's a good tip from you, Damon. Thank you very much. So with this current situation of the pandemic and everyone being stopped, I had a question here. What was the aim for this season? So basically, I think I'm gonna skip that one. And where do you see? Yes.
No, I'll update you. I think we'll find out in the next few days what's going to happen with our season. We've only played one match, so it's not a case of finishing the season as it is because it's barely started. hopefully myself and the players, we get the opportunity to do the season, whether it's now or whether it's in 6 months' time. We don't know. Hopefully we'll find out something tomorrow. But yeah, here we are in lockdown and
hoping for better days.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you see yourself in 10 years time?
Very good question. Very good question. Now, could I stay here in Perak? Yeah, of course. I think when you go and do a job, you've got to see it as long term. I'm not thinking, oh, I'll do 1 year in Perak and then I'll go somewhere else. No. I want to give everything to this club, and that means imagining I'm going to be here long term. If you start just thinking about this season, next season, you don't do the best for the club. Even if I am going to be here 1 year, I need to think that I'm going to be here long term so I can put in the right foundations. There's no academy here, no youth academy, but I want to put that in place for this club. So even if I do 1 year, I'm thinking long term. But where do I see myself? Okay, so first of all, could be in Perak in 10 years with an academy, with hopefully some success, some leagues, playing the Asian Champions League. That would be nice. Now everything doesn't depend on me. Maybe we don't have a good season. They want another coach. Funding disappears, things like that. So things like that can happen in any club.
Yeah, of course.
No, what I want to do. Part of me wants to go back a step and be an assistant coach. And I've always thought before 40, but whenever it happens, it happens. I'd love to be an assistant coach with a top coach. So, one guy right now who could be a good sort of mentor for me could be Velasco, who's gone to Paris. That could be being an assistant in a team like that would be some experience for a young coach like me. And if I don't go for that, then someone else go for it. Try and go to Paris and offer your services and be that guy. Now, at some point, I want to be an assistant coach in a professional team, with a top coach. When, I don't know. Right now, I'm in Perak for a few years, hopefully. So, no, in 10 years' time, I'm a futsal coach, but I don't know where I'll be. Somewhere is going to take me and take my heart, and I'm going to settle there. And, hopefully, by the time I'm 46, I'm in a place where I can call my home. And, being a head coach, having my other business interests, helping me as well. No, I don't know. If in the next 10 years I've worked in a couple of other clubs in different countries, then I'll be happy. If I've stayed in one club and we've visited a few other countries, then again, I'll be happy. If my futsal journey ends and I go back to the UK and set up something in my hometown, then I'll be happy. So no, I don't know. I can't answer it, but I know I want to carry on having these experiences of travel, futsal, making friends, meeting, interesting people, and hopefully affecting people's lives for the better.
Okay. What are the 3 most important aspects when leading a team?
Okay. So yeah, I read your questions and I come up with 3 things. I'm not going to talk about tactics or anything like that because that's individual to each coach, but I think you need to build a family, build a team that works together, that lives together, that fights for each other on the pitch. You need that culture of family. In Malaysia, I think that's quite ingrained in the culture. It's a very, very family-oriented place, because of the religion and because of the way they're brought up. So hopefully here we can build some a nice big family and do things together off the pitch as well as on the pitch. So yeah, make sure you build a family, build that group that want to work together for each other. Be honest. So be honest with yourself, but be honest with your players. Talk to your players. If they're not playing, tell them why. They're humans at the end of the day. They want to know why they're not playing. Most of the time, they're gonna react well. They're gonna understand. What the bad reactions come from when you don't talk to them. And maybe they don't agree with you, but if you talk to them and tell them why, tell them what you're thinking, that, tell them they're going to get an opportunity in the next game or 2 weeks. You need to have these conversations with your players. Ultimately, they should respect your decision. They might disagree, but as long as you're honest with them, and then when they do get the chance, they'll give 100% and be firm. Back your decisions. If you're making decisions, stick with them and be confident in them. Don't be afraid to be wrong. But if you make a decision, then make sure it's good to have stats in games as well to help you with your decisions, and make sure you've got a bit of evidence to say, okay, so you've dropped a player, okay, but you can back up your decision and be confident in your decision. You might be wrong, and I've been wrong a million times. I'm going to be wrong a million times.
That's how you learn. That's how people learn.
But if you start being indecisive, then it doesn't come across well. And I once read a quote saying it's better to be wrong than be indecisive. Exactly. So be confident with your decisions.
Okay, we had some more questions here, but I will close with other projects and ideas going on. So we know that you are involved with Futsal Travel and Futsal Camp UK. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So that's the same thing. Futsal Travel is just the name of the company. Futsal Camp is the project. Now, Futsal Camp is an English and futsal camp held for 2 weeks or longer, normally in Manchester, but we've done in Middlesbrough, Liverpool, and it's a summer camp for foreign kids to come to the UK, play futsal, train like a team, a professional team, play matches, and then do English classes, English activities, and live maybe with a family or maybe in accommodation, but that depends on each individual. So, it's a project because I think, first of all, travel, I love it. Futsal, I love it. So to have a company that is involved with futsal and travel, it makes sense. And the main project for that company is the summer camp. I'd like to do a few other things in the future, but certainly now with the pandemic, we can't organize any trips or anything. But things
so
like
this year's camp is postponed to next year, right?
Yeah, there's no summer camp this year just because, the pandemic. But it'll be back in 2021. And then some other ideas with that are, organising trips for coaches to Spain or to Portugal, where there's clinics and things like that, or certainly with the World Cup coming up whenever, organising a trip to World Cup. So, take out the logistics for everybody. I'm quite good in the logistics, in the organising of travel and accommodation, things like that. So I'm getting the best prices. And so, that's a little bit of the long-term plan for that. But for now, it's just a summer camp. And as we're not doing summer camp this year, I'm going to do a English YouTube classes for people that do want to do a bit of futsal in English. But with my bad internet connection over here, it's a bit difficult at the moment.
Yes. That is something that you need to sort out. Anyway, we had a really nice time here. It's already 1 hour and 20 minutes. We went a little bit up in our schedule. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to close this interviews, Damon?
Yeah, I think if you do want to be professional in whatever field, so futsal for me, because I was brought up with football and futsal, obviously very similar, but it could have been anything. If I was brought up with basketball, I was whatever my passion was, I think I was going to dedicate myself to that, and it turned out that it was futsal. And most people try to earn money to live an expensive life, and that's fine if that's your decision, if that's the way you want to go. But I think if you really want to follow your passion, then, so I've never had a lot in my life. I've always had what I needed, but I've never had more than I need. And I've learned how to live very cheaply. So when I do earn money, then I can save money, I can invest money, I can make that money work. But yeah, if you can reduce your outgoings, then you'll find much easier to live not a lot of money. Because if you come into futsal, don't think about the money. If you can reduce your outgoing, then you're gonna get many more experiences that maybe other people won't. So yeah, try and don't come into it for the money. Think about doing something you love, and try and make your life around that. So reduce the cost willy-nilly. Obviously, if you want to do that, that's something different. But maybe you can't then go and pursue a dream in futsal, which notoriously isn't well paid. So yeah.
Well done.
That's the biggest bit of advice.
Well done. Damon, I think we are closing now. Thank you so much for your time and availability to be here with us. It's 2:30 in the morning there, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm 24/7 available. Anything you need.
Okay.
Anytime.
We will put your contacts available in our website. We will create a page with our participants with a little bit of their CV, and also make your contacts available for whoever wants to make any question. Thank you so much, Damon, and take care. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Obrigado.
Bye. What are you now? Are we still live or?
We're closing now. And